Go ahead, Jake.
What?
You're introing.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right, everybody ready?
Yep.
Hello!
Sorry, there were cats. Good God.
Fuck you. I
Ruined it
literally
already.
said, is everyone ready? You gave two thumbs
Damn
up.
it. I'm
It's
sorry,
just
the
nice
cats
that it
were
was
hissing.
Ames for once, you know?
God fucking damn it.
And there's the episode intro.
Hello, and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, a Starfuck Shitcast.
Accurate.
What the fuck?
Are you okay?
Right as she's taking a sip of beverage.
Why would you ever drink water while I'm doing the intro?
It's not
You
water,
know-
it's coffee.
It's hot coffee.
Oh, even better.
I almost just
Because that will
spit
burn
to-
and stain.
All right, hold
Speaking
on.
of
I'm
things
taking
that
a sip.
burn and stain, have I told you about my penis?
God damn it.
Why'd you take another sip?
I wanted my coffee. I didn't get the first sip because I spit it on the table, for fuck's sake.
Take three.
God damn it. All right. Hello, and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, a starship star...
Best
whatever.
one yet. Great.
Podcast.
A Starship
It's a fucking
Fuckcast,
podcast.
I think is what you said.
My name is Jake, and I'm joined by my co-host today.
Chris.
Ames.
And Caitlin.
Look at that. Look at that. Welcome.
Spit tickling.
Welcome back, everybody.
Woo.
No special guests this week.
What?
Although we may have a surprise guest later. We won't, but we may.
Oh.
I thought you were setting yourself up for some sort of thing, and I was like, oh no, what's he doing?
Yep.
Jake starts doing like a Tony Clifton impression.
We order calzones in the middle of the episode just so someone can drop by.
Technical difficulties.
So yeah,
What episode are we on this week, Jake?
we are on episode 186.
Well, hot dog.
Wow. And today we'll be talking about a two-parter.
Sneaky two-parter.
This isn't really that sneaky.
It's sneaky. You wouldn't know by looking
Just
at the
because
episode
it doesn't
titles.
say part 2 on it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Luckily,
all right.
I knew ahead of
I'm
time.
picking
to
up what you're
clump 'em.
putting down.
Well, like, let's put it this way. By the time you get to the end of the first episode and it says to be continued, you're clued in, but by the
That's
titles, you wouldn't know.
Yeah, DS9 loves pulling this shit.
Bitches.
Enterprise
Yeah, well,
is gonna
it's-
fucking love pulling this shit. Like,
just,
Yes.
just wait till we get to Discovery. It's all just one big X-parter.
It's true.
Oh, the two episodes are, by the way, Homefront and Paradise Lost. Hey, guys, have
Hey.
you heard that the government has really, gone authoritarian and put troops in the streets of major American cities?
no,
And let's
I
also
haven't.
talk about Star Trek while we're at it.
Why must this show be so fucking depressingly relevant?
Want to go back to the Bell riots now?
Yeah, so,
Those were better
yeah.
times.
Yikes.
Better times, the Bell fucking riots. Yeah, so in Homefront and Paradise Lost. All right, let's just do this quick. We're hanging out in DS9. We get a call from Earth about how there was a terrorist bombing, apparently, of some kind of conference. And they get the video of the thing and they play it back at half speed. And they're like, holy shit, that's a lot of people in one place. Why aren't they social distancing? Where are the masks? What the fuck? But they're also like, holy shit, the thing that didn't blow up, but for some reason was in the frame was a changeling because it changed briefly into Odo goo color. So they've discerned now that Earth has been invaded by changelings and they're
everywhere.
causing all kinds of trouble. So Cisco and Odo get summoned to go to Earth, and we have Vice Admiral Layton, who, if you followed our Tumblr, is one of our top bad admirals.
Naughty admirals.
Yeah, I can't remember if he is top or if he is second to
Drumhead?
to Cartwright.
Oh,
Can't remember, but Cartwright's also in this episode
he is.
as Joseph Sisko. Well, the same actor, Brock Peters. Anyway, so we return to Earth. We meet Sisko's dad for the first time, who's a Creole chef.
Looks
And
pretty lively for a dead man.
Yeah, very. Yeah, it was implied earlier that he was dead,
It
but
was never
now
like full on stated, he dead, by the way.
I mean, you could
he
twist.
was
You could be
sick
like,
for a while, and
he was in poor health.
I'm so just kidding. Anyway, I'm not one of these cannon hounds.
I am.
But yeah, no. So we meet him, and he is a lively fella. He's doesn't take no guff. And if anyone wants to show up and take a blood sample or do a COVID test on him, he ain't doing it.
He wouldn't
in
wear
other
a
news,
mask, I bet.
Joseph Sisko would definitely be an anti-masker.
You're
100%.
all-
1 second.
No.
Chris, where's your fucking criticism of this now? Because I
You're
basically
all-
said the same
We'll
thing.
get to that with the episode, but there was
All
a
right.
big difference between thinking they're being overly paranoid for security and we'll get to that.
Why do you hate
Anyway.
America, Chris?
You're all nuts.
Jesus Christ. So while we're on Earth, Sisko, Leighton's like, all right, we got to convince the President Dogman, to do
Clam face.
I have notes on him. He's great.
Yeah, you know what he looked like? He looked like the Jim Carrey Grinch makeup.
Oh, kind
Was
of.
Was that Jim Carrey in that movie? I don't
It was,
remember. I never.
yes.
Okay, yeah. Get that same weird mouth.
Yeah, you're right.
But anyway, so President Grinch, they're like, hey, President Grinch, we need to create do these advanced anti-terrorist things, anti-changeling stuff. We're going to do phaser sweeps. We're going to blood test everybody, make sure no one's got the COVID. And
they could just pluck a strand of your hair.
well, yeah, but like Joseph Sisko comes up with the thing
yeah.
that I
He's
said a
brilliant.
Yeah.
long time ago, which
Yep.
is why not just suck up somebody's blood and let it out when you need to?
Yep, I made a note
You
of
could
that.
do the same thing with hair, I guess. You really just should cut off people's arms and then reattach them.
I think the only way to
so
be sure is just to nuke it from orbit,
Exactly.
President's like, nah, man, this is the fucking Federation, biatch. We're
That,
not
sounds a
gonna
little
impose
aggressive,
martial
man.
law.
My
Do all
heart
this
grew 3
draconian
sizes
bullshit.
this day.
So shortly thereafter, what do you know? Worldwide power outage. Somebody done fucked with the power grid, and the
Or
power's
the
out for a couple
whole
of days.
planet.
Yeah, well, because it's all computer controlled, right? So they
Bad
they
idea.
they use a
Super bad.
computer virus.
Terrible
Whatever.
idea.
They have candles.
Wretched.
One of those things that encrypts your photos or whatever.
Tell them to just heat up a rock with their phasers.
I know, right? And there's no other ships. They have one ship in orbit. But anyway, so then everyone's like, well, shit, if they can get the power grid, well, we definitely need the martial law now. So they get the president to agree, and
The
they start
Patriot
beaming down troops. But then something seems a little fishy to Sisko, because he finds out that this team of cadets that Nog is buddies with has been beaming all around the planet, and right at very suspicious times, right before the power outage and right after the power outage, they were beaming around to the place where the power outage happened. So so Sisko calls one of these Red Squad cadets into his office, and he's like, "Cadet, I'm gonna trick you into telling me everything you know about this plot." And then the kid's like, "Okay, well, here's the entire evil plot." And Sisko's like, "Fuck!" So he calls up Odo, he calls up DS9, he's like, "Listen, there's some fucking bullshit here." And they're like, "All right, we'll get to the bottom of it." And then he gathers all the evidence and he goes to the president. He's like, "President, look, this whole shit was orchestrated by Leighton. He's a bad guy. He was on Jake's list 300 some odd years ago.
Oh, that Jake. You, Jake.
Me, Jake. We should have read the list before we hired him because he's an asshole." And right before they're going to do that, Leighton's like, "Well, wait a minute. Before you hand in your evidence, let's give you a changeling test." So they hit him with the blood sample, and it turns into Odo goo. Magic. So it turns out Sisko has been a changeling this whole time.
I knew it. I fucking knew it. Him and Eddington would have been at it again.
I was going to say, Sisko's been Eddington the whole time.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's so stupid, though. The idea this is even proof. I know we're still synopsizing. But remember when you were a kid and you had a doll that had a bottle and, you tipped it over and the milk would hide and you'd put it right side up and the milk would come back down? How fucking... This is, stuff that fools 4-year-olds, not Starfleet. What the fuck? Sorry.
Yeah, but the idea was that they were that Leighton is trustworthy, so you wouldn't assume he was using a bogus test.
Mm.
But evidently
But, wasn't
he was.
he already replaced by a changeling once at this point in this show?
Yeah, that is true.
So,
Yeah, but he was mean to Odo, so that was a dead giveaway. Because the changelings are 100% stealthy at blending in unless they want to be sassy at Odo. then they can't blend in for shit.
That's something I didn't put in my report. My people are incredibly petty.
Yeah, I
You
bet
were right
couldn't
to
even
bring
be
me here.
I'm surprised you could do a bird, bitch.
That was a good bird.
Anyway.
And then the guy became a seagull. The ultimate burn.
You want to see a fucking bird? I'll show you a fucking bird.
There are just so many 1-star Yelp reviews from the Great Link.
Yeah. Anywho, so they identify Cisco as being a changeling. They put him in jail. Obviously, it was bullshit. Leighton shows up and he's like, ha ha ha, I am evil, you see now. It turns out the whole plan all along now was to orchestrate these attacks so that Leighton could seize control of the government and depose the president and do a little coup.
Like a bird.
Oh, that's a pigeon.
Caw-caw.
Yeah. So he wanted to do a little coup. And, and he seems to have, like, his heart's in the right place, I guess, because he's like, well, we need to fight the changelings. But it's like, but Sister's like, that's not the way. And Leighton's like, well, fuck you. So meanwhile, Leighton has sent his little toady Captain Bactine out to...
He's not a captain yet. That's next week.
No, we're already in next week. We're already in week 2.
We're into part 2.
No. I mean, they were going to promote her next week.
Oh. Well, anyway, she has been sent to intercept the Defiant and get into and stop them from coming to Earth with the evidence that proves what's going on. And they have a little battle, the Defiant and this Excelsior class ship. They fight the battle, and eventually Bactine backs down. And
Bactine backs down. I like that.
That's right. And then they head on to Earth. Odo springs Captain Cisco from jail. Cisco confronts Leighton in his office and is like, you're going to resign. And Leighton takes off his little pins, puts them on the desk, the universal symbol of I've been beat and I quit. And everything's back to normal, and the troops leave, and Joseph Cisco is happy once again, back to his old self, eating poorly and not taking care of his health.
Not taking his medicine.
It's good to know that old people will be as stubborn about going to the doctor in the 24th century as they are in the 21st.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous. They fix everything now. Like, oh, you fucking drank your liver to shit? Don't worry, take this pill, you'll grow a new one. Even I would go to the doctor in the future.
Yeah.
Not this future. The 24th century future.
Well, we can't afford medicine now. Ridiculous.
Fine.
And Jake, I checked. You did in fact put Cartwright first and Leighton second.
Now, who was Cartwright again?
He
was the admiral in Star Trek 6.
Well, he was in 4 as well, but he was a good guy in 4. But then in 6, he was part of the conspiracy to keep tensions high between the Federation and the Klingon Empire.
Yeah, he was part of the plot to assassinate both Gorkon and the president of the Federation.
Yeah.
That dirty son of a bitch.
Speaking of the president of the Federation, we have a new one in this episode.
Yes.
Jaresh Inyo. I'm told, and I read that he is a grazerite.
Okay.
Who are supposed to be like herbivore type people, hence his naturally peaceful manner. Jake is smiling about something. What are you smiling about?
Totally not subtle species name.
Yeah, so when they were originally doing auditions for this role, and they saw a lot of people who, when they saw you're going to be a grazerite, they were like, okay, so we should be like an antelope or something. And the auditions ended up favoring this guy, Herschel Sparber, who decided against like being an antelope and wanted to be a wildebeest. He says, I'm going to be very wildebeest-like because, they're not flighty, stupid things like antelopes. They're these stubborn, jowly things, and I'm going to be one of them.
I know a lot about wildebeests.
I think either of these are a mistake because they both taste delicious to the meat-eaterians.
Right?
Fucking idiot.
Well,
I didn't ask to be president. But when my name was called, I chose to do this. But I'm, which way did he go?
We no longer enslave animals for food.
That's true.
We put them in charge of our massive fleets.
So Leighton probably would have eaten this dude, right? That was the end game.
Oh Oh, God.
He looks so tasty.
He's like seeing visions of him like turning into a chicken and a hot dog, like Looney Tunes when they'd be stuck on a desert island starving to death. They look at their friend and he's like a big plump roast chicken.
Exactly.
Wildebeest.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm going to point out, I'm going to get to this point we had earlier. Most of the people who are okay with martial law are the anti-maskers. So I don't think saying this blood test is ludicrous is the same as being...
Listen, all I'm saying is that if they were doing less testing for changelings, they would find less
there would
changelings.
be fewer changelings. That's right.
Fewer changelings.
Thank you.
Sorry,
Still,
Ames.
yes.
Okay, here's what I want to say.
Read the manuals, okay? Read the fucking manuals. Read the book. Read the manuals. Okay? You read the manuals?
What
A lot of people are saying
What did you
can
want to
test
say,
too much.
Caitlin?
If I went to fucking, what's his name, Joe Sisko's? If I went
Yeah.
to Joe Sisko's restaurant and he was being that fucking obnoxious the whole time,
Yeah.
I would leave before I ordered. I don't know if it's supposed to be charming, but that is not what I want from a server.
And he's the restaurant owner. Like, he doesn't seem to have any other job there than just cajoling people.
Yeah,
He
he's...
doesn't even cook, really.
If you order anything else than the bread pudding, you'll regret it, because none of the other stuff is ready to serve. So I hope you want bread
If
pudding.
you order anything else other than the bread pudding, I'll kill you.
Like, yeah, no, that was definitely, when he was doing that, I was like, oh my god, I hate it when my waiter is too friendly. Like, this would be a nightmare
Someone
for me.
calls Chris Hun one too many times at a diner, and he's like, yeah, I gotta go. Yeah, I found him. I mean, I liked him otherwise, because he's, he hates going to the doctor. I relate to that. But I'm sure his jambalaya and his bread pudding and shit's all really great, but he's gotta just tone it back.
Yeah, I loved his alligator hanging from the ceiling that they used to tell little Jake stories about it coming to life at night.
Yeah.
And he just says, oh, well, I had to stop telling those stories because the thing overpowers me now. Ooh.
Yeah.
Cha-cha-cha.
I was like, they were like, oh man, you're gonna be hitting your head on it soon. It's like, I'm pretty sure he'd hit his head on it now.
Yeah, he was already too tall for that comment.
The kid's a vine. He's so
but it's
long.
it's like a grandpa type of thing to say.
No, I know. But I do like that he also calls him Jaco.
Yeah.
Kind of makes you wonder who actually started it, Ben or Joe.
Definitely Joe.
Mm.
Feel like
Apparently
Ben
Sisko
is
has a
too
sister.
businessy.
That's brought up.
Yep. His brothers are gone, but now he has a sister.
Who has a sister?
Ben Sisko.
Ben has a Cisco. Cisco.
Ben has a Sisko.
God
he
damn
does.
it.
Ben has a Cisco.
Okay, so Jake has an aunt.
Yes.
Evidently.
Where are the sons?
Ages ago, when they implied his father was dead, there was mention of brothers. But now there seems to just be a sister.
So they could just be off somewhere else doing something.
Maybe.
Or they're super dead.
Crazy dead.
Or Cisco made them up.
Or that.
Just like he made up Joe Sisko dying.
Yes.
All misdirection. Maybe
Much
it was
like
an
this
alternate.
episode.
Maybe it was an alternate timeline.
It's just a red
I don't
herring.
know.
Yeah, this whole episode is nothing but misdirection. Like, I read up how when they were planning the Nog B plot, that eventually you learn, like, oh, it's not a B plot. It's very integral to everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. Good move, guys.
Yeah, I didn't even think, because, I guess I've seen the episode so many times that I knew what happens. So the fact that I guess it does kind of set it up that his whole, I want to be a member of Red Squad is set up as a B plot.
Yeah. Oh, they're probably being racist to me. I'm sure they're being racist to him.
Yeah.
Are the Red Squad the same dildos that, like, were doing fancy flying shenanigans?
That was
Nova Squad.
Although I'm willing
yeah.
to bet Red Squad is... Because I assume they disbanded Nova Squad. Red Squad is probably the same thing with a new name.
Yeah.
Does that mean that Vice Admiral Dildo Face is Red Leader?
Yes.
No.
What is it? It's the with Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
Is that the thing at Yale?
Yes.
So it's like it was like a secret, like a not so secret society of elite. So really, what this is they're not actually any better than anybody else. They're just like
Toadies.
the children of admirals.
Probably. And I will say, whoever cast this episode kudos on finding a kid you just wanted to punch before he even opened his mouth.
Oh God, Riley Shepard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kid. Like, I looked at that kid like, he's a twerp.
Yeah.
He's just a twerp.
Exactly. That's perfect. Yeah.
This kid is best of the best? No, he's a fucking twerp.
Yeah, no, he is a super inbred child of an admiral. Amazing casting job.
That actually kind of tracks with Super Troopers by ABBA. Super inbred child of an admiral.
Oh, I see. I think with the theme of the song, and I'm like, what?
No,
but
no.
I'm not following any of this, but let's move on.
Oh, also though, Quark was right. The humans are getting to Rom. I mean, Nog. He started drinking root beer.
Yeah.
You proved me wrong that we'd stop calling Rom and Nog and vice versa.
Yeah, sorry. But no, he started in on the root beer.
Yeah, but he still gets his tube rubs from
Joe?
Old Cisco.
Where's the fun if you don't feel him wiggling down?
Ugh.
Yeah, I wonder how Nog is actually doing at Starfleet Academy, though, because I know they mentioned, like, oh yeah, how's it going? Oh, you know, rough, Red Squad doesn't like me, and blah, blah, blah. But I always do nothing but wonder, like, because Nog...
He couldn't read 2 years ago.
Well, last we saw, Nog had zero respect for women. Has any of that come up?
I mean, yeah, I have to assume, like, they'd been trying to train him a little going in.
Well, see, I just figured that since no one wants to hang out with him, he hasn't had a chance to be a horrible misogynist yet.
That's good.
Also, like, imagine being like, yeah, it's a little tough. I don't really have any friends. I want to go and just jump right up to the top and be friends with the coolest people.
That tracks.
Like, dude, no, it doesn't. Break in with the fucking goths and weirdos first or something.
Yeah, but for Nog...
nerds.
A lot of people want to break in with the cool kids.
Yeah, but they don't actually expect to do it if they're not previous school cool kids.
Nog has always aimed high.
I mean, he was friends with the coolest kid on DS9, so why shouldn't he be friends with the cool kids on Earth?
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, he hasn't always aimed high, but once he got into his head that he wanted to join Starfleet, he started aiming high.
I don't know. I just think you gotta do steps.
He doesn't understand steps.
Yeah, I think
you gotta join like the Starfleet baseball team or something.
No, I think it's part of the Ferengi ego. Like none of them have any sense of like humbleness or modesty. To be like, oh yeah, maybe they won't like me. No, they will like me. Brr, I'm a Ferengi.
That's true.
I guess that's true.
Otherwise, I'll use my electric whips. We don't have those anymore. God damn it!
Thank Christ.
I don't know, that's somebody's kink. There's somebody out there who wants the electric whip. I'm just saying. He just needs to find them.
How cool is he going to be perceived now that he's demonstrated that he just will rat on people?
But they don't necessarily know it was him that did it. All this Red Squad...
they'll figure it out. They're like, so Cisco figured out who the members of Red Squad were. How would he have done that?
Well, yeah, but
who does Cisco know?
He's the head
that knows who the members of Red Squad
He was the acting head of security and this and that. And also, clearly, like, Leighton fucked up and forgot to tell some of his co-conspirators that Ben wasn't in on all of it. Because the first real slip-up came from some random Bolian captain. Like, oh, that record's not supposed to be there. Good catch, Ben!
Yeah, see, I wonder how many people are in on it versus how many people Leighton is just tricking.
Yeah,
because I know, like, they also said he took everybody who used to work with him and gave them, like,
cushy
ships
jobs
of their own and advancement and this, that, and the other thing. And they probably don't know why yet. They're probably just waiting for it to come up like, oh, Leighton's in trouble. We'll help him because he gave us our new jobs.
Yeah, because they said there were, like, 400 people, and there's no way 400 people are in on a conspiracy. So yeah, a lot of them he was just banking on like them being loyal to him when the shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
And like the Bolian was in on it.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that you don't have to be in on the conspiracy to be like, you know, if Leighton comes to you and be like, look at all the shit that the Changelings are doing.
Yeah.
And the fucking, you know, that pussy president won't do shit. So come on, we gotta take charge here, or else everyone's gonna die.
Yeah, or again, your old boss shows up and is like, "Hey, here's a nice job." You go, "Fucking sweet."
Yeah.
When am I gonna have a fucking corrupt former boss who can give me a cushy job for a favor later.
That's what
I would love some of them.
Yeah, for real. I don't care.
Did you guys recognize Commander Benteen?
Yes. But only because I think I previously already knew that somehow.
I mean, she's also
I don't even
still
remember
got the
who
same,
that is.
the same, like, growth on her lip.
Oh.
Oh,
this was
the
yeah,
woman
this was-
who was
yeah,
fighting
she had-
against the Defiant?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she attacked the Defiant in her shippy ship.
Benteen sounds like something you would rub, like an ointment of some kind.
Yeah.
It
Like
does sound
Bengay?
medicinal.
Yeah, that's it.
But yes, Ames, of course, I know who it is, but who is it? You can...
Oh
you
yeah,
can-
that's the actress that played Leia Brahms.
Yep.
And she
Oh,
looks
yeah,
like she
you
probably
told me that,
lost
didn't you?
50 pounds, all from her face. Because she looks so gaunt.
I just kind of assumed it was the hair. Like, it's amazing how different she looked with her hair up.
I thought you were going to say that she had lost 50 pounds of hair, because Leah Brahms had a pretty big hair.
She did have a do.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is. I've seen things like that before. Like, it's astounding how different someone can look if they just slightly change their hair. Well, not slightly, but if they just change their hair.
Jadzia went from like a 9 to a 200 when she changed her hair in that one episode.
That's true.
Maybe it was also makeup. Also, like, I also don't know how much time has passed since we saw her last.
Yeah, that's true. But it's funny, because at first I had forgotten, so at one point I was like, hey, she's familiar. Oh, right, that's Leah.
Yeah, a lot of familiar faces in this episode.
Yeah.
Between Joe Sisko and her. I guess that's two.
I didn't think it was...
familiar
It was
faces.
enough.
I did think it was funny, though, that, like, they kept talking about how, you know, before the Borg scare, the last time they'd instituted so many of these things was 100 years ago, and I was like, that's probably the whale probe thing.
Yeah. What did Kirk do that time?
Yeah.
But
Any
that-
number of things.
That would have been probably, I'm willing to bet, Star Trek 4 when they introduced Cartwright.
Nice. It all comes full circle.
Yep.
Yeah, as I mentioned a couple weeks ago, this was originally supposed to be the season 3 finale, season 4 opener, two-parter, extravaganza kind of a thing, until Way of the Warrior came and ruined all that. So the writing staff actually looks at these two episodes with pity, I'm gonna say, kind of like pity disdain, because they're so displeased with how they came out because there wasn't funding at this point in the season. Because, you know, when you have your season finale, season premiere, that's a lot of money tends to go into those episodes. That by mid-season, the money's dwindling.
Yeah.
Well,
That just sounds
so
like
what
bad
what were
budgeting.
they unhappy
terrible.
about, though?
I don't know. I think they wanted more in like the fights. They definitely wanted more people to show the armed militias in the streets instead of
not more than
we
just
see
like
2 people.
yeah, just a couple people beam down.
Yeah,
That's it.
Joe and Jake look like, oh my god, 2 people.
Yeah, you
They're
don't
running
have to,
amok.
You don't have to use your imagination and assume, like, that's every couple of yards. I think that's why they had him just kind of looking through a curtain as opposed to being on the street.
Yeah, in fact, they also ran out of money to do morphs because they wanted Odo to do more things. For example, when he rescues Sisko from the brig, and he seems to Vulcan nerve pinch somebody
Yeah.
because they didn't have enough money to do a morph.
Dude, whatever. I love the idea that he does the fucking Vulcan nerve pinch.
Yeah, I had the same thought. It's like, of course, if anyone is going to have learned it that isn't a Vulcan, it's gonna be Odo.
He could transform into a Vulcan and then be able to do it.
Well, his hand actually turned into a Vulcan hand. You just couldn't see it.
Yep, that makes sense.
It was so quick. Thank God for that, too, because, like, aside from that, that was actually a really poorly choreographed fight. Like,
Yeah, it kind of looked phoned in.
the speed was weird, and it was just so obviously a TV fight. It was like, ugh. Oh, hey, Vulcan nerve pinch. That was fun.
Eh.
No, you idiot. It's lower. Oh, like this?
Where the neck meets the shoulder blade.
You said that his hand turned into a Vulcan hand. All I could picture is him doing, like, the live long and prosper and be like, just, like, hitting him in the neck with a V, like...
You know, they could have saved money by just cutting the pointless scene with Julian and O'Brien talking about fighting Jerry.
That doesn't cost a lot of money, though.
I
Yeah,
know.
they already
Two
have that
costumes.
set.
I was just trying to segue into how pointless that was.
I
Oh,
loved
okay.
that, though. You didn't like it? I thought it was just fun.
I mean, it was... it just
Chris
felt...
usually loves fun.
I normally do, but it just kind of felt like an interruption. I don't know. It felt out of place this time.
Ames is right. I feel like I expect this kind of killjoyetry from her.
Look, you can do a blood test later and prove it's me.
Ames, I
what
love you.
what I didn't care for, and what they know, I get why the writers did it, was when they have a changeling impersonating O'Brien, just because they really wanted to have Cole Meany do something because they love him so much. But I see that, like, okay,
that was
sure.
such a funny scene.
Sure, the changelings could take any face. They could be even somebody you know and trust, so your friends could be your enemies. I get it. But then why is he still acting and talking like O'Brien once he's revealed himself?
Well, because
why doesn't
remember...
he,
because morphing back into his normal state, that would cost more money.
I mean, there's that.
But
I
also,
thought he could drop the accent. If he dropped the accent once it was revealed, they'd be like, ooh, now this is creepier because it's Miles, but not.
Maybe Miles can't drop the accent. Have we ever heard him do an American accent?
Con Air.
Was it good?
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's inoffensive.
This is a changeling accent, though.
I was going to say, you know what it is, though? It's because how they say, like, when you morph into something, you take on the characteristics. So as long as it's O'Brien, it's still kind of O'Brien, no matter how hard it tries. It's sitting there like, must defend Dominion, but want to play darts! Ugh,
Jesus! I thought you were going to say that, they take on their characteristics, so he's got that Irish lilt to his larynx, so he can't talk any other way.
That's right.
But yeah, no, I did that, but that scene was actually a good scene, especially because it's like, how many? You want to be there? Fucking 4.
Yeah.
You're doing the work for us.
You guys are destroying yourselves more than we're doing anything.
Yep. We just had to let you know we're here in some capacity, and you've all gone fucking nuts.
We're just here for the root beer, frankly.
Yeah.
Oh man, I want a root beer.
And the hot dogs.
Hot dog?
That's the big secret. That's actually, if you could taste a changeling in goo form, they just taste like root beer.
Oh, I thought you were going to say hot dogs.
That's how they replenish the Great Lake. They have whole shipments of A&W and Barks and Mug and whatever else.
Federation president, he tastes like hot dogs.
If you
Or at least that's what Leighton's hoping for.
when they cook him up and eat him because he's a fucking herbivore. Delicious.
But yeah, I think that's but that's a good point, because that is really, like, I mean, again, depressingly relevant, but that's what happens,
Which
People,
point?
You're doing the work for us to destroy yourselves kind of thing is like...
Not eating the president. Oh, I wish.
That is pretty much, I mean, let's, again, depressingly irrelevant, look at our own country. We've spent the past 19 years eroding our civil liberties more and more and more.
Oh, yeah.
To the point that we now have, the president unleashing federal troops in our own cities.
Yeah, this is another prescient episode. There was
on a lighter note, you know how the new thing has been like, cakes that look like everything, and you cut into it and you're like, what? That baseball was a cake? That's what the president is. If you cut into him, he's just a cake.
Nice.
What were you going to say, though, Ames?
Oh, I was going to say there was another prescient moment at the top of part 2 there, where I think somebody says, "Are you sure reopening this restaurant is a good idea?" I'm like, oh no. Oh, how did they know?
Hope he has outdoor seating.
So, there was a line that I fucking loved that came from Joe Sisko when he was objecting to the first round of blood tests. Which, again, prescient. You can't go around making people prove they are who they say they are. That's no way to live. And it's just like, damn, that's a good line. And I, again, wish it wasn't so annoyingly relevant right now.
Yeah, the line I really like from Joe...
and we're going to make the Dominion pay for it.
Brilliant.
Okay?
The line I really liked from Joe Sisko was, "I'm just checking my eyelids for holes."
That was a good line, too.
A good line.
That's definitely a grandpa line.
Oh, it so is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even a dad joke, it's a grandpa joke.
It is.
He had a lot of those.
So many.
Do we see a lot more of him? Because he's fun.
We do see more of him.
We definitely see more. I don't remember how much, but...
Is this the episode we saw when we were in London?
Yes.
This is the first episode I ever saw of Deep Space Nine.
No, that's
the first
not
one
true.
or the second one?
Yeah, because you said you saw
Trial
More
and
Tribbles,
Tribulations.
More Troubles when you were younger.
Oh, yeah, that's...
So it's the second one you ever saw.
No, I saw that with you, I thought. Oh, then maybe I've never seen it.
You told me you'd seen it before we met.
That sounds like
Alright.
it was a long time ago, and Caitlin's not going to
Yeah.
remember that far back.
That's
Caitlin
true.
doesn't know. The
This
first
is the
episode
first
that I
episode you
remember,
remember
at this
having
point in my
seen.
life
Yeah.
is this one.
Yeah, because it was on TV.
Oh, so we start the whole episode with Dax playing jokes on Odo.
What the fuck? Why?
Which displays that Jake's original plan to slowly shrink Odo's bucket millimeter by millimeter would not have worked.
No, that's true.
He would have noticed it immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And been really mad.
Oh yeah, pissed.
I just don't understand why.
Why
mean,
what?
Why she would do that.
Yeah,
Well, because she's a prankster. It's only a prank, bro.
But
Well,
she's
Curzon is a
not.
prankster.
When has she
Yeah,
ever
that's-
been shown to be a prankster?
that was definitely Curzon's idea.
Oh, I wonder if it's because Curzon was in Odo for a little bit and was like, I know what'll really piss him
Oh
off.
my god, that might be it.
That's actually pretty good.
Well, I still hate it. It's an invasion, it's a violation, and poor
Yeah.
Odo.
Yeah, but I know we're going to also see next week just how anal retentive Odo is about stuff.
Yes.
Like,
Well-
he is a nitpicker.
For someone without an anus, he sure is anal.
He's yeah. He's pretty nitpicky about it until he just wants to tear it all down.
Yeah, but that's next week. But you're able to see it here, just like how like tight assy. Again, even without an anus,
But
he
like
can be
again,
about
he's
things.
right. This bitch broke into his house and just stopped moving his stuff around. Would she do that to a blind person and think it was hilarious?
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, it also goes to show that because evidently she was doing it while he was in there regenerating.
Yeah.
So he must not really be that aware of shit while he's in that state.
Probably him sleeping. It's probably the equivalent of taking a nap.
Yeah.
Poor Odo.
Which is like the worst part. It's like it'd be one thing if she did it when he just wasn't around, but it's when he's in like an incredibly vulnerable state.
That would be like waking up and finding out that like the first floor of your house had been ransacked while you were there. That's just awful. I don't know. I don't like it. I think it's nasty.
What would be the equivalent of drawing a penis on a passed out changeling?
I think
Currently
this.
moving their things to 3 millimeters to the left.
I was gonna say like putting a few drops of food dye into them so that they just get tinted ever so slightly.
Oh, that's good.
Got a slightly purple Odo walking around.
I feel
Yep.
like that's like the putting someone's hand in warm water trick, actually. Somehow.
Yeah, that's probably closer.
Only Odo is the warm water.
That's right.
So he's peeing into himself.
Slightly purple Odo. That's the like reboot Grimace.
I was
To
gonna
go with-
say it was like
go
my
with-
cover band of, but I couldn't think of anything. A deep blue something.
There we go.
So what? So okay. So there we have that one random scene in the middle of the episode where Leighton is a changeling,
Mhm.
um,
And then a seagull.
a seagull.
Ah.
So other than the ridiculousness of the changelings cannot keep themselves from dissing Odo, other than that, like how long had was anybody freaked out about this? Like how long had this changeling been impersonating Leighton for?
The impression I was under was that like it had probably just been for like that day.
I was gonna say even just that hour.
It never came up. It could have been for weeks or months. We don't know. There could have been two Leightons running around, one doing evil shit.
I mean,
Both doing evil shit,
yeah, I was
evidently.
gonna say, more evil
Other
shit.
evil shit.
No, one was just going to Joe's and having bread pudding and doing nothing.
Yes. My guess is that basically they'd worked out that Leighton was going all cuckoo nuts. And so they decided to help Leighton by it's like, hey, go be Leighton for 10 minutes and freak out. I mean, maybe that's why it was so sassy to Odo, you know? That was part of the plan. It's like, if I'm really transparent, he's gonna catch me. And that's gonna make them even more freaked out.
Well, plus, if
Well,
that's
yeah,
your
I mean, I
biggest
guess that's
fear is
true.
that like changelings are taking over, being impersonated by one would just really,
Yeah.
absolutely stoke
Yeah,
that fire.
it seems like just kind of like what Faux Miles said.
Yeah.
Miles Faux Brian.
Ah!
He said just four of us, and most of it, like they weren't even having to do anything. They were just making their presence known was enough to cause a lot of havoc.
How many people did he shit on as a seagull? My God.
All
many.
of them.
But if the seagull shit,
Yeah, it would turn to
it
goo.
would turn back into goo. It would just be Odo goo on you.
No,
Unless...
they sucked up a whole bunch of seagull shit, just like Joe Cisco said that they could do.
That's right. Why is that
They just have
man
a
sucking
seagull
on
shit
that
reservoir
seagull's
in them.
cloaca?
Oh, this has gone to a bad place again.
See, I was just gonna say that maybe a skilled enough changeling can actually make a full digestive system, so it could eat,
Oh, that'd be interesting.
and then it could poo on people and have it not turn to goo.
Hmm.
Oh, you know what we haven't mentioned at all yet is all the shit that was happening with the wormhole.
Oh, right, that's important.
Because it starts opening, closing on its own with nothing coming out, and everyone at Deep Space Nine is just like, that's interesting, we don't care. Until we learn, oh, what if it's an invisible fleet? Because the Dominion could have gotten cloaking technology from all those Romulan and Cardassian ships that they blew the hell out of.
Well, and even the Dominion aside, it's like, hey, we're currently kind of at loggerheads with a race we know has cloaks.
The Klingons?
Yeah.
Mm.
Maybe
Also
we should
them.
be concerned.
Mm.
Of course, the Bajorans are all like, it's a shame from the prophet. Oh, shut up.
Don't let them in the
But
Federation.
But it turns out it was
Backwater.
just another part of the bullshit.
Yeah. Lieutenant Arriaga being a dick with the wormhole.
Yep.
He's like, I stick my hand in, and I stick my hand out, and I stick my hand in, and I stick my hand out. That was him for days.
Yeah.
Yep. The fucking wormhole aliens must have been pissed though. 'Cause,
Seriously.
they're just sitting there oh, we got a visitor. No, wait, never mind. Nope. Oh, someone's coming. Oh, no.
My
that's nobody.
calzones!
Well, here's the thing,
I
though.
just imagine they're like
Damn
a
it.
dog that's waiting for their master to get home, and they just run up to the window every time a car drives by.
Well, remember, though, they don't perceive linear time, so from their perspective, those openings and closings could have happened thousands of years apart.
Or me waiting for food delivery.
Just picturing Jake putting his arms up on the back of a sofa, rolling his tongue waiting for calzones.
Mm.
God, we've talked about calzones a lot today. Now I want a calzone.
I know, me too.
Got a calzone.
Dinner?
No, it's actually genius, though, to do that thing with Arriaga in the wormhole. That's
Yeah.
It was
actually,
smart.
a really great plan. It's a really evil plan,
Oh, yes.
but it's a really great plan.
Yeah. But it was funny how blasé everyone was being about it. It's like, guys, hello? You should be worried.
This is pretty fucking weird. Then again, the wormhole does weird shit all the time. So
That
who
is
knows?
true. I guess if you freaked out every time it did something funky, you'd be constantly on alert.
Oh, it's
You'd
spitting out random poets. What the fuck?
What?
Nothing.
Oh.
You'll figure it out.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Anyway, it just goes to show, blow up the wormhole, as
Hold
I've been
on.
saying for
Sorry, please
fucking
hold.
weeks.
Hold on.
Ooh.
Coffee's everywhere. Ames, you were, just so we can splice this together neatly.
Oh, we can cut it. It will cut just fine.
Well, but you were saying,
No, I was just saying what I always say. See, here's what I always say is blow up the wormhole.
yes.
It's not worth it. It's if 4 changelings are this much trouble, just keep the 4 changeling on this side and avoid getting hundreds more.
I mean, here's the
Of
problem,
course, they
though.
are everywhere now.
Right,
That's
we
the
don't
problem.
know how many there already are on this side. In reality, they've probably been coming through since before anyone noticed it. But
Maybe.
we know they have, because Odo was found in the Alpha Quadrant, so...
Now, my question is, would they continue to be causing so much trouble if they were cut off from the Gamma Quadrant, though? Would they
If
even
anything-
still bother?
If anything, they might go even more shithouse.
Well, yeah,
Why?
but if they had no contact with, their home base.
Exactly.
They'd just be rogue. They'd just be like, well, let's just set up camp here. In fact, let's take over the whole Alpha Quadrant ourselves.
All 10 of us.
Yeah, Dominion 2.
Electric
Oh, no.
Boogaloo.
How do changelings reproduce?
They just split off in 2.
Is that right?
No, I don't know.
I'm not sure this is a question that is answered. I'm
I
sure
honestly
it's
I don't
something
think
in
it
the
is,
Great
but
Link.
they do talk about how they have the young ones.
That's
you know,
true,
like
because Odo was like a babby when they shot him into space.
Yeah, he didn't know how to do changeling shit until he got shocked enough times.
Maybe they lay weird little goop eggs. Like a
Delicious.
little silly putty egg.
When you put it on newspaper, it comes back with the print of the newspaper on it.
And that's its first successful shapeshift.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm a newspaper.
I can make Charlie Brown's head a funny shape.
there were so many instances of them saying things like, oh no, this is going to destroy paradise, and every single time I followed it up with and put up a parking lot.
Yeah, I mean, they really rammed that home. It's like, we get it. Stop, please.
The line "Paradise has never seemed so well armed" is a nice line for Sisko.
True. And it goes way back to that episode from either season 1 or 2 or whatever, where like Ben Sisko said something about like it looks a little different when you live in Eden.
Yeah,
referring to Earth.
I feel like that was in the Maquis.
That sounds right.
Yeah, something to that line. And I know, like, the writers are like, haha, fuck you, Gene Roddenberry, you can't do a thing about us destroying the Earth now. In showing how, your utopian future isn't all it's cracked up to be. And good on them.
Yes.
So, the capital city of the Federation is evidently still Paris.
Yep.
Because you could see the
Eiffel Tower,
as you can see from any position in Paris, as we know.
Yep.
Every window in Paris faces the Eiffel Tower.
Well, see, Paris was actually completely fucked by World War III. So when they rebuilt it, they built the Eiffel Tower fucking huge and made sure every home was facing it.
I was just going to say that they encircled the whole city with copies of the Eiffel Tower so that no matter where you were, you could see at least one Eiffel Tower.
They're metro stations.
It's not Paris. It's that fake Parisian city in China.
There you go.
Fake Parisian city.
It's amazing. Oh, you got to look up the photos later. It's
sounds
really cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, like apparently, like part of China's development boom, they were like, "Oh, we're gonna build copies of all these European cities." So they built. I don't know if it's a 1-to-1 scale, but it's. They built a copy of Paris, complete with a bunch of like the tourist attractions, and a scale Eiffel Tower.
Dude, that's amazing. To have like all these famous cities right next to each other. It's like Epcot on steroids.
But I think the thing is that they ran out of money in this development, or people didn't end up wanting to move there, so it's mostly a ghost city.
Well, so
at least the photos that I saw.
What I've heard is that like they are mostly empty now, but the idea is they're preparing for the future when their population is larger and needs more room to grow. But that also just might be government propaganda. I don't know.
Dude, I volunteer as tribute. You're telling me I could go and have my own Paris?
Well, yeah, but it's in like the middle of nowhere China.
Yeah, it's like not where people are.
Fine. They got internet there?
I can never remember what dialect is the official government dialect.
Is it not Mandarin?
It's either Mandarin or Cantonese, and I can never remember which.
No, it's Mandarin is the official Chinese language of the CCP.
Yeah, but French is a dead language, and that's where in Paris is where the Federation capital is.
Yeah, sorry.
So that's where Jerish Inyo, the president, is, and he's the president of the Federation, but not Earth.
Well, yeah, they never really explain how the government works.
That's because they cut it.
Oh,
that's because
is there a separate president of Earth?
Yeah, they apparently had a whole bunch of extra content to put in this episode about why they're superseding the president of Earth and why the president of the Federation and fucking Leighton can make these decisions without consulting. But they cut all that because it was way too complicated for an episode that already has a lot going on.
Yeah, no one wants a civics lesson.
Yeah. Well, also, like, I'm the president of Earth is probably the most useless position.
Yeah.
Possible.
I was going to say, it's probably just a figurehead.
Yeah, like, I feel like president of Earth is probably equivalent to what mayor of London was before...
Prime ministers?
Like, 2005 or 2010. Because, like, there has been a mayor of London for centuries, but it didn't actually have any political power until this century.
Oh.
It was a...
hang on, I'm sorry, my phone, I forgot to silence it, now it's ringing.
It was
Who's
a...
calling?
Some asshole. Nevada number, it's probably fucking political bullshit.
But yeah, it was like literally a completely symbolic position until this century where they changed the laws. Like, you literally just showed up to, like...
Cut ribbons?
Yeah, pretty much.
So then it's the queen.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking, too. Like, just a figurehead.
Yeah. But, that's what I would have imagined the president of Earth is.
But I bet he's got a lot of money.
Where's the capital of Earth? Washington, D.C.?
God, Yeah, I don't know.
Well, the
Is
Federation the Federation itself is very Earth centric, which is kind of
Yeah.
a shame. Because I know, like, also I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, like they were talking about what happens if the Vulcans leave the Federation, and watching this episode and watching how the Earth gets all fucking crazy town. I could actually see like where that was coming from. Like, oh yeah, the Vulcans would say we've had enough of this shit. This fucking guy just cooed the hell out of our president of the Federation. We out.
There would definitely be at least a small pocket of Vulcans who would stick around, because, like, yes, this sort of evil is logical.
That's true.
It's amazing what Vulcans can define as logical.
We know how Spock at least thinks about the Nazis, so I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
Poor Spock. You admire the efficiency of the Nazis.
You say one nice thing
time.
about Hitler, and all of a sudden,
you're Jordan Peterson.
I also noticed that so we've seen Starfleet Academy a number of times, and it's like in the shadow of the Golden Gate Bridge. But apparently wherever Cisco was is like on the other side of San Francisco.
He's in Oakland.
He wasn't in Oakland. He was definitely in San Francisco, but you could see the Bay Bridge out of his window.
You're right.
Which is the other big bridge, and it looked like you could see like the ferry building, which is like the iconic building in one of the iconic old buildings in San Francisco.
Now, what do they have in Alameda?
Whistles.
Whistles.
With any luck, a giant statue of Chekhov harassing pedestrians.
That's right.
I keep now thinking about, or trying to figure out a way to make a joke about Ben San Francisco.
Yeah.
There is none.
Oh, speaking of, we learned his middle name.
San Fran.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
There it is. Thanks, Chris.
But no, at
was
one
it
point,
Lafayette?
his dad pulls the "you're in trouble" middle name game.
What was his middle name?
Lafayette.
Lafayette.
He's Ben Lafayette Cisco.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That sounds New Orleans-y, though, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
Well, because it's a French name, and
Yeah.
So it would have been interesting to see, because this was revealed not long ago when they were putting together that DS9 documentary. But although they were pretty sure, they were like, we definitely want like a black actor to be Cisco, but we're still going to screen test a bunch of people. And they rather famously revealed that they had screen tested both Anthony Head, an Englishman, and Peter Capaldi, a Scotsman, for the role of Ben Cisco.
What?
And
Peter Capaldi? Can you imagine if he had played Cisco and then played Doctor Who?
It probably wouldn't have happened that way, but yeah, that would have been something. But
Would
I'm
they
just
still
imagining.
have Miles, though? Because then that's just too many accents.
That's a good question. You're right, though. They probably, maybe they would have made Cisco be American regardless. But I'm just imagining, what would Joe Cisco have been if his son was a Scotsman? Would he have a haggissery somewhere in?
He would have been.
And instead of being really nice to all the patrons, he'd be like, "Shut up and eat your haggis, you cunt!"
I think he would be a lock monster.
Oh, I love it.
Jake, come hug your gigantic dinosaur grandpa.
Oh my god, it'd be Sean Connery. It
Why?
would just be Sean
I
Connery.
don't know why that happened.
Famously, my Patrick
Yeah.
Stewart impression. Jacob.
I think
Shishko.
I think having
What is this haggis
Cisco's,
of which you speak? What?
one of Cisco's parents being a supernatural creature would be a little too weird.
Well, I mean, he is the emissary.
That's true.
He is a supernatural creature.
True. Man, how if the coup had succeeded, how pissed off would the Bajorans have been that Leighton put the emissary in jail?
It wouldn't matter, because what could they do about it?
Be
And
annoying.
I'm sure Cisco would
Throw
have
their
gotten let out
reclamators at them?
after everything,
Oh,
they
yeah,
were just
no.
trying to put him away to get him out of sight.
Leighton straight up said he'd be out in a couple days.
Yeah.
So.
Once I pardon you from my throne. So what I don't get though is if Leighton's plan was to oust the president.
Yep.
But as we were saying, he is the president of the Federation, not the president of Earth. I feel like the rest of the Federation would be like,
should they just have made the character the president of Earth instead and not really made it a big Federation thing?
I think the stakes are much higher if it's the Federation president.
Yeah,
but they also never even alluded to there being a distinct leader of Earth.
Yeah.
So
here's a question: Are there changelings that have infiltrated Vulcan?
Almost.
And
certainly.
do the Vulcans know?
Possibly not.
They could try to mind meld with them.
Yeah, but that's something you could ask permission to do first.
Not if you're Spock.
I was gonna say, unless you're Spock. But it's not really a surprise that a Nazi sympathizer would also be a rapist.
Yikes.
Oh dear. Poor Spock, victim of bad writing.
Oh sure, poor Spock. No, I'm just kidding, I don't.
He's one of the most famous and cherished characters in history. I think he's fine.
No, I know.
One of the most cherished members of the alt-right.
He's certainly been played by more actors than any other Star Trek character at this point.
2?
That's true.
Oh no, 3.
Well,
the baby ones. There's several babies.
Yeah,
lots of
children.
children.
There's Nimoy, there's Quinto, there's
Quinto?
Quinto.
Since when?
I saw in the video once it's Quinto, not Quinto.
Did he say it?
No, someone else did.
How can you be sure?
So there's Nimoy, there's the multiple younger Spocks in 3, there's Quinto or Quinto, there's what's his name?
Peck.
Thank you. I
don't count him.
He was related to somebody famous.
Little Pecker.
Yeah, we saw a baby Spock in 6 being
5.
being born.
Did
Who
somebody
voiced
play a
Kid Spock
young Spock in
Yesteryear?
TAS too?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what Jake was just saying.
Oh, so great minds.
It was probably Doohan.
Yeah, probably.
What's he doing?
Why
there?
does baby Spock sound like a full-grown man?
So you say you're my uncle?
That's not actually Doohan's voice, he's not actually Scottish.
No, I know. It's funnier.
It was such a convincing accent.
It just would have been funnier if he played little Spock as full-grown Scotty. Because that would make even less sense.
But you can imagine, when they're doing the voice recordings, the guy in the booth, hits the button and is like, "What are you doing?"
My favorite joke of all time.
It's a good one. I'm glad we can do it again.
And again.
And again.
And again.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what I loved?
No.
The bit where Leighton is like, "I'd hoped you would join us, Ben." Avery Brooks makes the perfect, you are the dumbest honky I've ever met face. His expression in that moment is just bang on. You really didn't know me that well.
So the two of them used to serve together, and were they in the Zenkethi War? Was that the idea?
At the very least, they were involved at some point with chasing down some Zenkethi.
Yeah, there was a battle, and Sisko was wrong and said something, and Leighton was right. So Leighton was the captain of the ship, and Sisko was the XO, but not the first officer, evidently.
That's kind of what it sounded like, which was weird.
Yeah, because we know on the Enterprise, anyway, Riker is both the first officer and the XO.
Well, I think every time we've seen it up until now, that's been the case.
Which is the typical thing.
Is there a difference between the two roles?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, up until now, they've always been depicted as the same thing, but he was a lieutenant commander in the XO, and normally the first officer's a full commander.
Well, maybe it was different, but I think it was also implied that there were other people that outranked him.
Yeah, so it's definitely kind of weird.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly...
but I like the reference, the mention of how when Leighton first encountered Sisko, he was interested in engineering and ship design, which ties in with how he worked on the Defiant class.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice touch.
And he built that Bajoran ship that
sailboat.
Time.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it makes sense, though.
What'd you say, Jake?
So he's always had an engineering interest. So I just looked it up because I was curious. Evidently, according to Beta Canon, according to one of the novels,
oh god,
the capital of Earth is Seattle, Washington.
All right.
Yeah, it says right here.
Interesting choice.
In a novel Yeah. Taking place in Seattle, Washington. There's the novel centers around a communication difficulty. They finally get communication back online, and they say, hey, baby, I hear the blues are calling. Toss salad and scrambled egg.
Motherfucker.
And baby, I say, we'll make a few. Oh, baby.
Been a while.
The minute he said Seattle, I should have realized.
Scrambled egg.
Good night,
Oh,
Seattle. Jake, that was good.
Yeah, no, you got that one by
You
us.
got us.
Well done.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
What else? What else about this show?
Good thing Bentine took her commitment to Starfleet more seriously than what's his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I also thought it was interesting. So they upgraded the
Lakota.
whatever ship it was with special phasers and shit.
Yep.
But apparently Starfleet was not aware that the Defiant had the armor upgrades.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Which I'm just like, you think that would have made the news back home?
Maybe it was on like a very narrow need to know, and Leighton wasn't in that band.
Maybe.
Maybe
But I'm
Sisko's
still
just been
surprised,
acting defiant and doing whatever the fuck he wants.
I'm still surprised that even with various upgrades that the Defiant wasn't able to kick the ass of a goddamn Excelsior class. Like 100-year-old design.
Not an Oberth.
That's true, but like even like just based on maneuverability alone, you would think that the Defiant would just fly around it and blast the shit out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, Worf is in charge. I don't know if he's got the same
True, he's not really big into
tactics
battle,
and...
so
No, he hates it.
Well, you've also got your chief science officer at the helm instead of a pilot. Yes, I know she had a pilot, so that's how they can get around it. But
She had a pilot.
She
You know,
had a pilot?
Tarias.
yes,
Tarias was
you know,
a pilot.
he died being a bad pilot.
good point.
Oh, see,
And a
you
bad
said
husband.
had a pilot. So I thought you meant
No, sorry,
No.
whatever. She's
Sexually.
definitely had a pilot. At
Well,
some
yeah,
point.
her ex-wife had a pilot.
Mm.
you got a little pilot in you? You want some?
Hey.
Yeah, that reminds me. I had a note where I was like, "Oh, now I get why Sisko and Curzon got on so well, because the number of grandpa jokes we got about beautiful women and such. It's like, so Curzon reminded Sisko of his dad, because apparently his dad is also a hornball.
Only thing you should do in bed is die, sleep, or fuck. Thanks, Grandpa.
I mean, the thing is, they do say if you want to be able to get to sleep easily, you really shouldn't go to bed unless you're ready to go to sleep. Or fuck.
Or die.
Or die. I liked that Jake was like, but Dad, Grandpa's gonna make me wash dishes. Spoiled little shit.
No, he was afraid that Grandpa was going to make him chop things.
And then it turns out Grandpa wants him to be a waiter.
But then
Well, no,
later
that
in the
didn't actually
episode,
happen.
like when I think it was when they were about to reopen the restaurant,
Yeah.
Joseph was like, "All right, well, go start chopping the food," and like Jake gave the biggest eye roll
Yeah.
in
Nice.
history.
The okra specifically.
Didn't
No,
he
yeah, it was,
also
yeah, go
threaten
chop the
him with
okra.
like demucking crawfish or some shit?
I think
Go-
he might have, yeah.
Go catch the alligator. It got loose again.
It's gonna feel silly when he runs into the kitchen and there is a live alligator there.
Nice.
I mean, it was such like a classy restaurant, and then you have this fucking dead animal hanging from the ceiling.
That's true.
It was a little out of place.
You kind of expect that at like a TGI Fridays, not Grandpa Joe's down home, I'm gonna talk to you way too much Cajun cuisinery.
It made me think of like, you guys remember Bugaboo Creek?
Yeah.
I feel like they had
They
lots
always
of
had
dead
dead
animals.
I've heard of them, but never been to one.
Oh, really? It was interestingly enough, for being like a theme restaurant like that, the food was pretty decent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
remember
food
the
was
bread
quite good.
being great.
Yeah, I don't think there was really one around me when I was a kid, so...
Yeah, and then the moose would just start talking, much like Joe Cisco every
That's
so
right!
often.
I forgot about
Yeah,
the
they had
animatronic
animatronic.
moose.
Ah.
Who'd be like, hey, you tried our potato skins? Doop, 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 doop.
a great Moose voice.
I remember there was an animatronic Christmas tree at the one near me.
Yes, there was.
What?
Like the tree had like a mouth built into it that would open and close.
Deary dear.
I'm Peter Pine.
But yes, does anyone else, because Ames is right, we're talking about chain restaurants. Does anyone have anything else on this?
I have thoughts on TGI Fridays.
God damn it.
No, just kidding.
Yeah, TGI Fridays.
God damn it.
They're like they're middle of the road.
Chris is cutting all of this, and Caitlin's
Diarrhea,
wrapping it up
folks.
now.
My final thought.
On TGI Fridays?
My final thought on this episode. Even though the scene was kind of out of place and unnecessary even by my standards, I was amused that Bashir and O'Brien had apparently played this game enough that even Quark knew they were fighting the Jerrys and not the Germans.
Which were the Jerrys? Oh, okay,
The
that's Germans, okay.
But it's just old British slang for it.
Well, but I'm assuming, yeah, exactly. It's just as they go in there.
Yeah.
Like, he even knew what they drank.
Yeah. Yeah. And they apparently have been smashing his glasses.
Yep.
Yeah, don't throw them, what have I told you? That was cute. I liked it. Whatever.
I just wish it'd been in a different episode.
Listen, it wouldn't be Deep Space Nine if it wasn't, like, tonally inconsistent.
See, what we need now is every week just a new random costume for O'Brien and Julian to come out of the holodeck in. Like,
I'm on board.
Is there a truck backing up somewhere?
Yeah, that's here, sorry.
All right. Whilst they're not beeping, take us out, Caitlin.
Sorry.
No pressure. Beep, beep, beep.
Beep, beep.
Son of a bitch. All right, well, thank you for joining us for A Star to Steer Her By.
Beep.
Ow, ow.
If you like what you heard and you'd like to hear more, you can find us where all fine podcasts are sold. We are on SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts. I don't know why that one's so hard to fucking remember. It just
Because
really
they
is.
changed it at one point. That's why.
I
It
know.
used to be Cast Tunes.
That's the one.
Podcasts. If you want to find us elsewhere on the web, you can find us on Facebook by searching for A Star to Steer Her By. You can find us on Twitter and Tumblr at SSHB Podcast. You can visit sshbpodcast.com, our home on the web. You can read about all those corrupt admirals.
That's true.
You already know who number 1 is, but you don't know who number 4 is. And,
I don't know who it is either.
Yeah. We'll do this again next week. Different episodes, of course.
Not
It'd be
even.
silly
We're not doing that next week.
What are we doing next week?
Next week we're doing something special. Next
What?
week is fanfic week.
What?
Oh shit! I better start writing that.
Hope
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
all ready to play Julian.
What?
Oh god, that's
Oh.
right. We're writing scripts. I only have
Yeah.
1 week to write this. Shit.
Well, wink, wink. You actually have a lot more than that.
I mean, I know, but wink, wink. In real life, this will be my reaction the week before when
That's
Ames
true.
reminds
That's
me, and
true.
I'll be like, "Oh no!" And then I'll
Yeah,
still wait another 72
There's gonna
hours.
be an
to start.
episode. There's gonna be an episode that's gonna air a few weeks after the fanfic week, where Caitlin goes, "Oh shit! I have to write my fanfic."
I've got to go back to the future. But yeah, fanfic. Feek?
Fanfeet?
Wow.
Fanfeast.
Fanfeet.
Fan feces?
Show feet.
That's what it will be, really.
Well, mine will at least. All right. So we'll see you next week for the fanfic. Until then, stay fresh, cheese bags.
Jarish in your face. Hey!
Hey.
Oh, sorry. I've been Caitlin.
I've been Jake.
This has been Chris.
And this is always Ames.
Okay, now stay fresh, cheese bags.
Now, Jarish in your face.
There were so many
Nice.
I'll start that over.
Go ahead, Ames.
Awesome. Chris will keep this anyway. We'll see.